Good morning. Today we're joined by Norwegian Cruise Line Senior Sales Manager for Australia and New Zealand, Angela Middleton. Thanks for joining us, Ange.
Thanks, Emily. Great to be here, and another week.
Another week. Here we go again. We know that NCL continuing to consult with local and international health authorities to implement some of the most robust health and safety protocols to keep everyone safe both on and off board. From implementing enhanced embarkation screenings to onboard social distancing and sanitation procedures. Talk us through some of these new procedures that you guys have put in place.
Sure. So at NCL, the health and safety of our guests and crew is really our number one priority. We are enhancing our already robust health and safety measures so our guests can continue to cruise and explore with peace of mind. Under our new SailSafe program, which you alluded to, we are implementing 6 pillars to continue to build, and we'll continue to build on these pillars as we move towards cruising again. The 6 pillars are enhanced screening protocols, responsible social distancing, increased sanitation measures, all new air filtration systems, extended ship-to-shore safety, and enhanced medical resources. So if I just touch on, the first 3 of those, when it comes to enhanced screening protocols, both guests and crew will undergo extensive pre-embarkation screening and continuous monitoring throughout the voyage. Touchless temperature checks for both guests and crew throughout the voyage will help identify potential health issues, offering that additional layer of prevention and protection throughout the voyage. So those checks will occur pre-embarkation, upon returning to the ship, while in a port of call, so when you return, prior to all meals in dining venues and activities in public areas. So we've got all of that covered. And of course, when you return after a cruise, so prior to disembarkation is a really important point as well.
Definitely.
In relation to the all-new air filtration systems, we are installing medical-grade air filters. So they're H13 HEPA grade is the right terminology there. And these remove 99.95% of airborne pathogens. These will be implemented across our entire fleet to ensure that air you breathe is really clean. In regards to increased sanitation, so it's always been a key priority with us at NCL. So we're continuing to expand on our already stringent procedures and go above and beyond really what is required. So this will include from boarding, the terminals will be continuously sanitised, and we'll even use fogging technology before and after each embarkation and debarkation as well. All ships will continue to be thoroughly cleaned and disinfected prior to every voyage, in line with our company protocols, which are developed in partnership with the CDC's vessel sanitation program. And importantly, the cleaning of all staterooms, suites and public areas will be increased frequency for the sanitisation of those areas. Yeah.
Wow, it's certainly very extensive, isn't it? Now, you talked about social distancing on board. Have you reduced capacity on board?
So we all know how important it is at the moment and into the future to social distance. It's our world. It's everything that we talk about. So it will be no different when it comes to returning to cruise. We'll provide more space for responsible social distancing by reducing the capacity on board. This will also result in staggered embarkation, and it will implement advanced online check-in to manage those flow of our guests in the boarding process. Okay. But importantly, I guess everything that we do, we continue to work with our global health agencies for their guidance.
Yeah, and it's changing. It's one of those things that's changing every day. So, and I know this is a question on everyone's lips at the moment. What's happening with the buffet?
Yeah, so a common question and one that is a concern for many people. But from a buffet and beverage station side of things, they will become full service with staff serving our guests moving forward.
Lovely, good to know. Now, not only for embarkation and on board, but you also have the ship to shore safety procedure. Talk us through that.
That's a really important point overall. It's not only when you're cruising on board, but what happens when you visit the lovely towns and cities that we visit along our journeys. So we will only visit safe and open ports of call moving forward. and we'll be partnering with our local destinations and ground tour operators to ensure our industry-leading health and safety protocols extend to these shoreside experiences. So complete end-to-end review of who we work with.
Yeah, I think it's going to give a lot of travellers a lot of peace of mind. So, yeah, well, good to know it's not just while you're cruising. When will you personally be cruising again, and where?
Yeah, it's obviously school holidays now, and very hard to go on a holiday at the moment. So we're chatting about this the other day, but as a family, you know, when it comes to the next school holidays, September, October, there's no reason why we wouldn't choose to cruise as long as we could get a flight, and the borders were open. So nothing holding us back except for, and I guess, the overall regulations. We're ready to go. We need a holiday and we can't wait to cruise.
Of course. Norwegian's peace of mind policy is certainly easing cruisers' mind as well for future travel. Tell us more a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we've had our peace of mind policy in place since very early on this year, when we started to see some of this virus spread around the world. So our peace of mind policy is now for all cruises through to December 31. Guests can cancel up to 48 hours prior to the holiday start date and receive a future cruise credit or a refund if cancelling outside of 120 days. And importantly, as people start to look at 2021 as their preference for travel, and realistically when our borders are potentially going to be open, we need that peace of mind there as well. So for all cruises from the 1st of January 2021 and beyond, you can cancel for a full refund up to 120 days before your cruise. So there's no better time to take advantage of some of the offers that we've got out there at the moment. Make sure you secure the cabin that you're after on the cruise and date that you want, and have that peace of mind.
Yeah, no, it's nice to, have that flexibility to know that you do have that option when booking for future travel. So I think it's great. What's your favourite NCL ship and why?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I'm a bit torn. So I've got two for this.
Okay.
The first one being Norwegian Breakaway. At the moment, that's my favourite ship purely for the entertainment. So on board, we're featuring the musical Six, which is the story of the 6 wives of Henry VIII, a really upbeat musical, really fun. And I had the privilege of seeing it at the Opera House just before lockdown. So highly, highly recommend. It's probably the highlight of my year so far, to be quite honest.
That's not hard to top, but that's okay.
So Norwegian Breakaway sails through the Caribbean, Bahamas, Canada and New England regions for 2021, so you can catch 6 on board Norwegian Breakaway. The other highlight for me is definitely Norwegian Spirit. So she came out of dry dock in February after a $100 million refurbishment. So obviously in February, we haven't done a lot of cruising since then, unfortunately, but the really exciting thing is that we're welcoming her to Sydney and New Zealand as well in 2021, so late 2021 and 2022, with some great local itineraries. So we all know that domestic cruise is going to probably be our first option. Got to wait and see, but it's really great that we'll have Norwegian Spirit in all of her new rooms, new public areas, all redone. So that's really exciting.
And what's your best cruise insider tip that you can share with our followers?
Yeah, so when I cruise, I love food and cocktails. I think that's what gets me through each day is getting to the next restaurant, getting to the next cocktail and knocking that off my list. So I know you've been doing a fair bit of work around sharing some cocktail recipes during this COVID lockdown situation. So really would love you to try our NCL pineapple and coconut mojito.
So I'm thirsty already just thinking about
maybe this morning even.
Well, look, definitely share the recipe with me and I will get onto making that, put it on our request list, and certainly get that out to our followers this week. Well, and thank you so much for your time and for sharing all of this with us. It's certainly one of those things that we are monitoring day to day, but we hope it's not too far away that we all get to go out there again. And yeah, so thank you so much for your time and we'll see you soon.